louder, then you raise your hand. How about now? Thumbs up if this is good for you guys. Alrighty. Welcome aboard the African Tram. My name is Sarah. We're going to be together for the next 25 to 30 minutes. Before we get too far along in our journey, you have to go over some safety rules. First off, look above your head. 2 yellow stripes are on that roof. That's for medical emergencies. Should you have one during the tour, press and hold on that stripe and I'll come out and make sure that you're okay. And if you're in the front tram and maybe thinking I'm a little crazy, you don't have those stripes. You get my attention from the window here instead. Please do not lean or sit on those doors as they are only latched, not locked. Don't want you guys falling out. Keep all body parts inside the tram at all times. Should you drop anything overboard, sadly I cannot stop to grab it for you, but just let us know at the end of the tour. Please remain seated while the tram is in motion. I will be making stops along the way, and at that time frame you may stand. And if you have a cell phone, please refrain from using it during the tour as a courtesy to your fellow guests, unless of course you're using it to take some photos. But enough of that boring stuff. Look on your right hand side. Those that have their backs to the driver will be looking to their left. There are 2 cheetahs that are laying on their sides underneath the tree in the corner of their habitat. These are South African cheetahs. And cheetahs can run over 70 miles an hour. Many of us drove that fast on the freeway to get here today. Those long, lean bodies are built for running, but they can lay down in dry grass not only to take a nice cat nap, but so they can sneak up on their prey. Now, as we go through Africa, we're going to talk about different ways all these animals survive out there, special features and behaviors that they have. And we've got a lot of little babies out here, so I'll try to point them out as we go along, including on our right-hand side. Look at our greater flamingos, but keep an eye out for any little gray, fuzzy chicks. Over 29 have hatched so far this year. A group of flamingos is called a flamboyance, and they'll stay pretty close together. After all, safety in numbers. The more of you there are, the less likely you're going to get eaten. Here's the San Diego Safari Park opened to the public in 1972. And we are a conservation and protection. Our goal here is to help fight and end species extinction. For example, the northern white rhino. Sadly, there is only 3 northern white rhinos left in the world. They live on a preserve out in Africa, unable to increase their numbers. So that's it. There's only the 3. And I bring them up because we'll be going by our Nikita San Rhino Rescue Center on our right-hand side, which is home to 6 southern white rhino females. Now there's a couple of girls that are hanging out underneath the 3rd tree towards the back. They're going to kind of look like boulders with little ears. And then we have 2 huts in this habitat. So underneath the 2nd hut is the other 3. One is laying down, the other 2 are getting some snacks. All 6 of these girls were brought to us for a special purpose. To hopefully one day become surrogates for our northern white rhino babies. We're working with scientists all around the world to help make that possible, but hopefully soon these girls can help us out by getting the northern white rhinos back into a breeding group before it's too late. On the left-hand side, you're getting a nice preview of those large open habitats that we'll be visiting today, home to a variety of different species of gazelle, antelope, rhinos, giraffes, and birds. So including the large white birds that are along the shore, a couple more hanging out on the island, a couple more that are swimming around the water looking for some fish. There are 2 species of pelican out here that are native to Africa. They deal with a lot of pollution problems. Old fishing lines and fishing hooks, plastics. These little plastic rings that hold soda cans together. You can help them out along with other animals, including ones that live in your own backyard, by reducing, reusing, and recycling if you can. have those little plastic rings before they set you. And also on that left-hand side along the shore, underneath the palm trees, is a female ostrich that's laying down next to a couple of eggs. Now these are unfertilized eggs, as we don't have any male ostrich here at the park, as they are not considered an endangered species. Ostrich are flightless, instead they're excellent runners. They can run about 40 miles an hour, and they use their small wings for balance, so they can make sharp turns as they're running away from predators. As we go through our tour, we're going to see some animals that are tans and browns, spots and stripes, and these are all ways these animals are going to blend into their environment and camouflage, because most predators and prey see in a gray scale. The animals that are tans and browns can lay down into green grass to hide away from predators. Now on the right-hand side, if you look past those palm trees, towards the top of the habitat, there are black and white striped animals towards the top. Those are Grevy's zebras. Each zebra has their own individual stripes, like fingerprints, to tell each other apart. And if they feel threatened, they'll stick very close together in their herd. And that'll make it hard for a predator to see where one begins and where one ends. All those stripes are going to blur together. Coming up on our left-hand side, you'll see the two palm trees. They look further into the habitat underneath the third tree. We've got two different species over here. First off, those large tan animals. Large tannish brown. They're going to have white circles on their back ends that kind of look like they set it with a paint. Those are Ellipsin waterbuck. And the white circle on their back end is called a follow me mark. They're going to be traveling in their herds, going through the water. They're excellent swimmers. That mark is high up on their body for the rest of the herd to follow along. And those small tan animals with the white bellies and the dark stripe along the side, those are springbok. They have to be small and very fast. After all, their main predator is a cheetah. And cheetahs can only go 70 miles an hour for a short amount of time before they tire themselves out. Springbok have a higher endurance, meaning they can run for a longer time period. So they just have to keep on running and dodging those cheetahs until the cheetahs tire themselves out. Now the group of dark brown animals with the curved horns that are laying down in a group on that left-hand side are sable antelope. Notice they're looking in different directions. They are doing what is called an alert circle, which is the neighborhood watch. They're watching each other's back, making sure nobody sneaks up on them in any direction. Now a lot of these smaller animals are going to hang out pretty close to where giraffes are. Giraffes are high up into the air. They've got great eyesight. Therefore, they're the first ones to know if there's any danger nearby. So if giraffes start running away, smaller animals know that they better start running too if something scares a giraffe. And the giraffe that we'll be seeing all on our left-hand side will be Maasai giraffe, like this one here. They are the largest subspecies, standing well over 15 feet tall. In other words, we can walk underneath them without bending down. Pay close attention to him as he's hitting the last bits of leaves off those sticks there. See if you can spot his tongue. It's going to be long and purple. Giraffes have very long tongues, and if you look at your fingertips all the way down to your elbows, that is about as long as a giraffe tongue. So they can stretch really high up into those trees to get the exact leaf they really want to snack on. Now we're going to move forward here because I do see a rhino that's grazing along on the grass coming up on that left-hand side. If you look towards the center of the habitat, you'll see that dirt roadway. Just past him, he's right there by a single tree. His name is Chuck. He's 48 years old. It's about 80s and 90s in the human world. He's a southern white rhino. And he's our retired breeding male here at the park. We've had 96 southern white rhinos born here. So he's enjoying retirement life over here. You'll see he's got that square lip, which helps him graze along on the grass like a lawnmower. Those southern white rhinos can weigh 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. There's about 25 people at 200 pounds. At his shoulders, over 6 feet tall, the average height of an adult human. Now, those tan animals that are kind of cruising down the hillside next to him, they have black spots on their elbows, straight horns with a little spiral to them. Those are Patterson's eland. And the black spots on their elbows are their version of a follow me mark. Those black spots are right at eye level, so they can glance up as they're grazing and traveling in their herd. Look for those spots, make sure they're following the correct group. It looks like we found the rest of our Maasai giraffe coming up here on our left-hand side. Most of them must have been hanging out with that caravan safari earlier. It's going to be that truck with the people in the back of it. Those caravan safaris are the only safaris that go directly into those habitats. Get some one-on-one time with some of those animals, including these giraffes. And if you're interested in checking that out, right across from the tram station is one of our ticket booths, and we have to schedule one of those for you. You'll see one of our younger giraffes here hanging out with one of the adults and checking out some leaves on the branches on the ground. Baby giraffes are born at 6 feet tall. Further ahead here, hanging out with some Patterson's eland, are some grayish lavender colored animals with a black stripe on the side of their face. They have those straight horns. Those are Gemsbok. The black stripe on the side of their face makes their horns look a lot longer than they really are. And if their ears are facing in your direction, there's a black area on the inside of those ears that from a distance it looks like eyeballs. Altogether makes their heads look a lot larger than they really are, to scare away predators. That black stripe is going to work for one other thing, and help keep the glare out of their eyes. It works like sunglasses. Now we have some animals on the right-hand side. Close to the fence line is one of them. They're going to look like donkeys with black and white stripes on their legs. The rest of them are further ahead towards the front of the tram, in the center of their habitat underneath the trees. And a couple of their babies are up there. These are Somali wild ass. The black and white stripes on their legs aren't there